President Trump is not messing around anymore, labeling Antifa as a terrorist organization. And he told Martha McCullum this.
We're going to do a big thing with respect to Antifa. It's a sick group. I mean, very, very sick group.
You said millions and millions of dollars going towards some of these groups for agitation the other day.
They're agitators.
Who are they?
Well,
and where's the money coming from? Is it foreign entities?
Yeah, it's a terrorist organization, in my opinion, and we're going to find out. All those questions are going to be answered.
All right, Harold, I was watching Congressman Dan Goldman today said Antifa, it doesn't exist. Does it? Do Democrats think it doesn't exist?
I'm a Democrat. I don't speak for all of them, but I think it does exist. I talked a long time in the last segment, so I'm just going to say this. I'm for it, Mr. President, and I hope while you draw that executive order up, you ought to include the Ku Klux Klan as well.
Greg, where do you think George Soros fits in?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him lately. I got to return those calls. He leaves the longest voicemail messages. I think what's amazing is always the media's take on this. For the longest time, they were saying speech is violence. That's why they would go after Trump for his colorful sayings. Unless the speech literally encourages violence, whether it's river to the sea or shouting intifada, then suddenly it's just words. It's just freedom of speech. I don't think it was ever really about Antifa. It's about our leaders who shed their responsibility in protecting the community from them in favor of this kind of suicidal empathy that Gad Saad talks about. That excused the violent anarchy because we were supposed to empathize with these outsiders. I put Antifa in the same bucket as BLM and trans, and I'll throw in the KKK, Harold, to make you happy, in which they demand us, Antifa, BLM, trans, KKK, they demanded us to submit to their brand of militant grievance. You know, if you did not agree, if you did not kneel or take a pronoun, you were the enemy. If you said boys are boys and girls are girls, you were a bigot and you got a target on your back. So it's all, like Antifa is a very small group of losers and miscreants and buffoons. So it's about the leaders, and I'm going to say this, nearly all of them Democrats who chose to appease radicals over the safety of Americans because to them it was a virtue signal when it really was just suicide.
Okay, Jesse. I mean, how do you think, I mean, like we've seen a lot of these protests, mostly peaceful, turn into violence at some point. But there was always, you saw like some kind of organizational group behind them. I mean, how difficult is it going to be to find out the source of this?
Well, you're going to have to infiltrate Antifa, so you're going to have some sort of transgender FBI agent go undercover for a while. I don't know if they have that at the Bureau.
It's a great movie.
But they could try it. They've been causing violence and mayhem for a long time, and everyone's treated them like a little nuisance, but they have to be treated seriously. They shot and killed someone out west. They shot a cop. They've punched people in the throats. They've fired commercial-grade fireworks in the faces of federal law enforcement. They laid siege to a federal courthouse. They occupy courthouses. They bomb cop cars. They bomb Teslas. They're not very nice people. It's not like they're doing this for health care reform. They want to overthrow the federal government. That's an anarchist. And anarchists in our history, they've assassinated presidents. They firebombed the townhouses of attorney generals. You got to take these guys seriously. Joe Biden took the threat of white supremacists, domestic terrorists seriously and investigated them. Surely we can investigate the domestic terror threat from Antifa because the money is suspicious. Where do they get the body armor? Why do they always have the best equipment and technology? Why do they look all tacked out constantly? And then when they get arrested, they have bail money and the best lawyers, so they never, ever face any charges. Who's paying the lawyers? That's what I want to know.
You bring up some interesting points. I mean, also, Emily, I mean, a lot of people think, you know, the Democratic Party, because they don't have a real leader right now, that it's going to be very difficult to find out the source.
Yes, I think the real challenge here is actually the fact that we don't quite have the legal framework for designating domestic terror organizations as we do foreign. And the reality is that our laws addressing domestic terrorism are sort of patchwork. And sure, there's federal within the Patriot Act, but it doesn't have the same teeth as the one that we have for designating foreign terrorist groups. And so with that brings a whole host of issues. Everyone's been talking about sort of the amorphous quality of that, which means that it's going to be difficult to identify under the parameters of the existing law who actually is leading it, but for the funding. And that's exactly what I've been arguing about the cartels, is that if you follow the money, then there's a whole host of laws that you can throw behind the laundering and the extortion and the hiding and all of these things and providing the material support. But to me, it's incumbent upon Congress. They have to draft actual legislation that will back up the president's designation, because it doesn't automatically flip a switch and kick in the resources that a foreign terrorist designation does. And right now, the resolutions that they have passed in the past, that doesn't have that same lingering effect, that it doesn't stick around like actual laws do. So unfortunately for this, because free speech is so protected, all of these guys are going to say, no, that was just me protesting my government. And what body are you talking about? I don't know anything. So we've got to have a more solidified legislative body so that that can be the armor and that can be the teeth that drives this vehicle that the president aims to do. But the bottom line is something has to kneecap this body.
There is one thing missing here, too, and that's journalists. There's only one guy, Andy No,
yes,
who at great risk to his life is the only journalist that has kept the spotlight, and he's gotten his ass kicked by them. But there's no other journalists that are helping him out.
We should make this a part of the crime bill. Everything you said, Congress
Yes,
should pass a
yes.
crime bill and let this be part of it.
And include the KKK.
Yes,
We're gonna
because
definitely
all of
include
those, all of those attorneys are going to be defending these sick wastes of flesh, and they're going to win in court. So it's up to Congress to combat this and get up on the front lines before they do.
Well, the show is very influential. You never know who's listening right now. Coming up next, here's a shocker. Tim Walz wasn't Kamala's first choice for running mate. Find out more next.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.